Hi, it is October the 8th, 2011. I wanted to put together some update information on George the Fourth so that there's a little bit more of an explanation of the design of the interaction therapy that I have with him so that others can lock into it, support what I'm doing, and then interact with me so that I can support what they're doing too. The primary and most important thing that I'm trying to do right now is to stir up and stimulate verbal communication. So anything he says, anytime he says something, that it is rewardable and can act as a reinforcement, or can be reinforced either with some concrete reinforcement or verbal and praise reinforcement, to create ongoing verbal communication. I'll take it. That means whatever he says, if he says it and I can lock it into verbal communication and reward it, I'm going to do it. An example: I'm sitting on the couch. He wants me to go and open a closet door so he can get some toys out. He comes and grabs my hand and pulls on it. I would only do this. I would respond and him say, "Well, what do you want me to do? Talk to me." And if he says "bah," that's good. That's good enough. I get right up and I go with him. If he says anything else, I'm going to get up and go right with him too. Now, with that example being given, the "bah" that I just used as my reference word is the sound, the word, the concept that I have been pressing into long-term memory as consistently as I possibly can. So now we're at a place where if there is no other word or response or sound that he has learned to make that can be tied to a request or an action or anything that's happening, then I insist that he says "bah." So anything, whatever it may be, if he wants something to drink, he's got to say something. I would rather him say juice if he wants juice, but if he says "bah," that'll get him. If he wants a different video, he's got to say "bah." Wants to go outside, "bah." Now, with that being said, I try to make it so that every time I'm with him, it's a therapy session. So whatever he wants to do, as long as he'll use some verbal communication, I'll reinforce it. That means if I have to ignore some other behaviors and try to extinguish them, I'm going to do it. And that is difficult perhaps in certain settings, but it's the way that I have to do it to maintain my relationship and the delivery of the strengthening of verbal communication with him. So an example: he goes and he stands on a table. I look at him and I say, "George, what do you want? Are you wanting to go somewhere and you're wanting to get on my back? What do you want? Say something." I press him to say something. And then if he has nothing else that he can say, then I'll say to him, say "bah." And he'll eventually say it. When he does, and I'll reward him with something, like a pony ride on my back, or something in that particular situation and setting that does not reward the behavior of standing on the table, but it maneuvers it into a rewardable action by him. So Ba is now firmly implanted with where he's at. Whatever I can get that's verbal, I'm going to hold on to and use and accept, and then we'll go forward from there. I'm going to try to avoid any situation where I have to quote unquote discipline him, where I have to say, no, don't do that. I'm going to try to take every situation and turn it into something that's like, tell me what you want, let's talk, let's say something, and move it into that. An example being, let's say I'm leaning down and I'm getting close to him and maybe nosing or something, and he grabs my hair on my head. I'm not going to say to him, no, don't do that. I'm going to take his hand, move it perhaps to my face, and say something affirmative to him, to encourage him to say something. Yay, yay, yay. Ba. And then I'm going to put his hand back up on my head, rub it around when he says the word. Now, that's a scenario of how I'm dealing with him and working with him. Everything is a focus on verbal communication. Everything I'm doing with him is meant to stir up and encourage verbal communication, to set up teachable moments and reward with concrete reinforcements, i.e. goldfish, a cup of juice, or verbal and praise reinforcements at every opportunity that I've got. And once I've got that cemented in solidly, I'll begin to shape the verbal communication so that ba becomes B words such as bug